What's up, everybody? BigHerc916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. Yeah, man. Parents were stepping up. They realized that if they don't step up now and change the path that their children are going on, that it's going to lead to a very dark tunnel and possibly prison time or something worse. Check it out.
Parents probably did the right thing, because if you don't stop them young, they can go pretty far with it.
In Hollywood, nothing but praise for the parents who made the tough decision to turn in their kids over to the LAPD after those parents found out their kids were involved in these chaotic and disruptive flash mobs at multiple 7-Eleven stores.
On September 28th, another parent in Southwest area.
At Tuesday's LAPD commission meeting, Assistant Chief Blake Chow announced that parents surrendered their teens to different police stations on September 26th, 28th, and
on September 29th, a similar situation occurred in 77, where the parent turned the child in, and that juvenile was also booked for robbery.
Licensed clinical psychologist Dr. David Swanson says the parents may have acted out of desperation, knowing they've lost control of their kids.
Think about this. Your kid's out riding bikes all over town, running into stores, stealing stuff. You clearly don't have a handle on the situation. And
many of the juveniles involved are not from the neighborhoods where the crime and stuff occurred.
The LAPD is still asking for help in identifying these teens.
Even if you're young and you're thinking this is something fun to do with your friends, it's wrong, and it's better that the parents reinforce that. That's where you first learn from, is at home. So I think the parents did a good job.
So there'll probably be a lot of wild comments for this particular video, because people will be saying, you know, parents turn their kids in. Should they be doing that? Is it right? You know, blah, 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 blah. Well, back when I was a young person, parents were parents and kids were kids. It wasn't a buddy-buddy relationship. And I know a lot of you guys want to hear that, but your parents were held in a certain level of esteem, and you tried your best to not embarrass them, disrespect them, or shame the family. Well, I shamed the family, and I disrespected my mom in a sense where I did some things that I knew were wrong, but I did them anyways, and I had to learn a hard lesson. And if you don't want to have to learn that hard lesson, then it might be better early on for your parent to expose you to something that may shock you into a change. You know, give you a wake-up moment, rather than getting a wake-up moment later on where that wake-up moment is going to cost you a lot more time. When I think back to something that could have been maybe introduced into my life as a younger version of myself when I was 15, 16, I think just guidance, man. I was trying a bunch of stuff but didn't have no real direction. I've talked about before, I tried to design shoes. I started my own business. I got my first business license when I was 16, was selling, sweatshirts and t-shirts at school. Didn't really know what I was doing, didn't have a business plan, but I was trying to be entrepreneurial rather than sell drugs. And I was just trying to find my way. Did some art stuff, but essentially was just a lost kid, man. I was probably a 3.8 student at this point, not a 4.0. I was a 4.0 at one point, but I was probably a 3.8 my junior and senior year in high school. But I never really had those discussions on my future. I didn't have anybody older around me really giving me any real game on what I should be doing with my time or where I saw myself at in 5 years. But these are things that you got to talk to your kids about. If you just leave kids to their own devices, these young people, they're going to get into all kind of shit, because whoever the so-called pack leader, he's given the directions, he's given the orders, and everybody's following that person. And obviously that person has no direction, because they're leading everybody down a straight crash. You know what I mean? They're going to lead them into a straight train wreck. And so it's important that you spend time planting the seeds in your kids' heads so that they can make the right decisions, you know, decisions that make them think like, maybe instead of riding my bike over here to go run up in 7-Eleven and steal, I should take my ass on home. And then on top of it, parents, maybe your kids shouldn't be out after a certain time. School night, you know, you can't go here. You know, you got to be in doing homework, studying. Weekend, pay better attention. You know, a lot of these kids don't have any restrictions, and they, you know, you don't know where they're at when they're outside. They're just off, you know, off and about. And parents got to step up. You got to be more responsible. You have to exhaust your kid with activities that are positive. I know, like, some people are on a budget, so maybe you don't have the money to send your kid to a camp or to a program, but there are stuff out there that you can tap into and give the kids something to do and give them a project. I'm working on trying to come up with something, because I would like to get kids involved with something with the trades, you know, building cars, or, you know, designing maybe a clothing line, or, you know, doing an art project, maybe doing a mural, things that give them a sense of completion at the end of the project, so that they can see that, you know, spending time doing something is not a waste of time. Because a lot of people think, you know, especially young people think, oh, you know, it's going to take too long. Well, sometimes things take a while. Not everything is instantaneous. Not everything is going to happen overnight. So when you put together a project, whether it's maybe building a dresser, learning how to cut wood, how to router wood, how to sand wood, how to paint wood, how to finish wood, and you see that dresser you made or table, it gives you a sense of, like, proud. It gives you a sense of self-worth. And young people need more of that. You know, the self-worth of robbing and stealing and getting away with it and thinking, oh man, you got the adrenaline running with all these other people. That's not the answer. That's not the right answer. So I'm just saying that come up with a list of activities for your kids to do, and give them incentivize, you know, whether it's like, hey, you do this, you complete this, maybe we'll go out to a special dinner, or do this. But you got to give them something that keeps their minds entertained. You know, when I used to skateboard and BMX and do all that stuff and learning new tricks, and there was no YouTube and, you know, social media, so you just looked at magazines and you try to figure out how they did that trick, and the pictures would have like a click by click, and you'd try to figure out how to do the tricks. And I would be frustrated trying to figure out, like, man, how they get to this point, you know? And that's what I did. But I never thought about taking a professional, like, oh, I'll be a professional skateboarder or a professional BMXer. I wanted to, but I didn't know how to do it. And, you know, how do you get sponsored? And back then it was like, it was just different. You know, you had to go to a skate shop and you had to try to meet people in person. You know, you didn't have any way to really record your tricks unless you had a little camera. And it was just a lot harder. But you guys now, you have so much more you could be doing with your time besides looting and stealing. Because the looting and stealing leads to, hey man, we got away with 4 or 5 7-Elevens. I got a gun. You want to go rob this other guy? You want to go try to rob this person coming out the jewelry store? You want to try to rob somebody coming from the ATM? It escalates. It's just how it goes. These are gateway crimes. And so unless you stop them early, they turn into other things. A good kid could easily go down a bad path, man. You know, accessory to somebody who had a gun, like I said, the tribal leader, the little clan leader, and he shoots somebody by accident, and now you guys are all accomplices to, you know, possible attempted murder, robbery, possession of a firearm, all type of stuff, man. It's that quick it can happen. So, you know, exhaust your kids with activities. Try to get them as many programs as possible. During the week, monitor where they're at, you know, in the house, man, all that riding around. Some of the times, you know, oh, I'm going to go over here and do this. You know what? Sneak up and ride, too, to see what the hell is really going on, because it might not be what you think it is. They're describing it as one thing, but you go to find out it's a totally different underlining to whatever they're saying they're doing. That's just the front. Oh, we're gonna go over here and go play, you know, basketball. We're gonna go over here and, you know, shop at the mall. But then it's a meetup, and they're gonna go and run through and steal as much shit as they can at the mall. It ain't a meetup at the mall to go hang out. It's a meetup to go steal. All these little things, man. Kids are really slick these days. I mean, they're a lot slicker than I was as a kid. I mean, they're into things in a lot younger age, and parents just got to step up, man. Parents got to step up, man. So, you know, although it might seem, you know, some people, oh, that's wrong. I find it commendable. And I'm talking about somebody who's been to juvenile hall. And, you know, when I went in there and my mom's like, you know what? Ain't nothing I could do. You're going to have to do this time. And my mom left me, and I'm sitting there, and I had to do the time, man. I became a ward of the state. So hopefully you can save your kids before they become a ward of the state, because once they become a ward of the state, it becomes a revolving door for some people, man. And that's not a good thing. So BigHerc916, subscribe, share the channel, positivity. Pick up some merch at BigHerc916.com, and have a beautiful day. Visit BigHerc916.com to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster. It's coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit. Next store and pick you up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that BigHerc916 has authored. You know how we do it.